In today's video, I'll tell you about XLOOKUP, the new, powerful, and easy to use lookup function. It is one-stop answer to all the hardship you faced while using VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. All the limitations like lookup value should be in the first column, only the first value can be searched, can't lookup for the multiple criterias, and many more are a thing of past now. We will see how these can be handled via XLOOKUP. So without taking any more time, let's dive into it. Hi there, welcome back to Tech Reflections. I am Vikram and our today's topic is XLOOKUP. I will explain XLOOKUP with the help of 6 examples that will touch all the aspects of this function. XLOOKUP is going to replace both VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is introduced in Excel 365, but if you are still using the older version, then you can click on the I button to check out a video on VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. I'll soon be publishing a video on index match, which can be used as replacement for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP for older versions. So let's start. For today's session, we have this sales data for an organization dealing in stationary instruments. So, as I told you that we would be looking at with the help of 6 examples. So let's start with the first example here. The first one, what we are trying to do here is like we want to see the sales of an order or of a specific order that is with order ID ST0090. So let's see how we are going to do it with XLOOKUP. We start with the equal to sign and then we will type in XLOOKUP, start the parenthesis. Okay, the first argument is the lookup value as it was there with the VLOOKUP also. So let me first select this as our lookup value. Now next would be lookup array. So where we want to look up this value. So now in this case, VLOOKUP had like a table array that we need to give, and the value that we are looking up was on the first column, but here that's not the case. As this order ID would be in the column, go it to right, yeah, in the column A. So we just have to select column A as our lookup array. Then we press comma. Now next is return array. By return array, it means like what value we want to return. Now again, in the VLOOKUP, we had a table array and we need to just specify the column number within that array that needs to be returned. But here again, we can, just give that column from which the return value should be coming. So in our case, as we are looking for sales, so the return value would be in column H. So we just select column H, and when I click on the alphabet H here, press the mouse button, the whole of the column gets selected, but you don't have to repeat this for all your examples or all your scenarios. So you can select whatever available data you have. So next, all other arguments are optional. So for this example, we are not considering them. So we'll just close the parenthesis and press enter. And here it is. So we have got the total sales as 3000. So let's verify if it is correct. So we need order ID to be ST0090. So it's there. This is in this column 13. We have the order ID as ST0090 and the sales value is 3000, which is correct. Now we move to the second example. What we are trying to do here is, so here we are trying to search for order which is not there in this list. So if you see ST0310 is actually not available in this list. So let's start how XLOOKUP handles this. In case of VLOOKUP, we would have got error NA. So how it is handled here, let's see. We just enter XLOOKUP, lookup value. So this is ST0310. So we have selected the cell M7, then lookup array. So lookup array would be the A column, then the return would be, because we want sales, so that would be column H. And now the next argument is if not found. So although it is an optional field, but if you want to handle that if you're searching for a value and if you feel that maybe that value is not present, so in that case, rather than throwing an NA error, you want any particular error to be thrown. So that can be done. So here you can just in the quotes, you can just mention the error that should be shown if the value is not found. So I'm just mentioning no such order available. Close the braces and press enter. So in this case, as I told you that this value ST0310 order ID is not available. So it has thrown the error, no such order available, and it has not given us NA, rather it has given us the message that we have entered in our formula. Okay, so next move to the third example. So third one is here. So what we are trying to do here is, in this part, we are trying to calculate the commission. How are we going to do that? So there is a separate table here on the right side. If you can see this part, here we have sales up to figure, like if the sale is up to $1,000, then in that case we will have a commission as 5%, up to 2,000 it will be 10%, up to 3,000 it will be 15%, and so on. So what we are trying to do here is, like, our values may not be the exact value of the sales as they are in this list. This is the lookup list. So how XLOOKUP will handle it is, because if I take an example of the first row, that is 2,500. This value, if we have the sales of 2,500, ideally it should be showing us the commission as 15%. So that would be, because up to 3,000, that is above 2,000 and below 3,000, this 15% should be there. So our value is between that. So ideally it should be giving 15%. Let's see how that is done. So we'll come into this cell J2 and we'll write the formula. Let's look up, then lookup value. So lookup value is this sales figure. Then we have lookup array. We want to look up into this part, this column Q. Then next, what is the return? The return would be the commission. So this is the return part. And now, if not found, we don't need that. So we just keep it empty. So here we have to be careful that in this case, if not found, if we put blank there, and if that value which we are searching for is not available, it will neither show that message as NA, nor it will give any other message, because we have kept space there. So we should not give that. So ideally it should be without the space, we just put the comma to move to the next argument. So the next argument is the type of match. So what type of match are we doing here? Is it exact match or next smaller item? The one would be there. Then for -1 is exact match or next smaller item, and 1 would be exact match or next larger item, and 2 would be for wildcard match. But in our case, because we want to see the higher one, so or the larger value, so in that case we will select 1. So why 1? It means that ideally this value of 2,500 would be matched. If exact value is there, then the corresponding value from the R column would be retrieved. But if we don't have the exact match, then the next higher value. So in our case, like if it is 2,500, the next higher value would be 3,000. So it would be returning the corresponding value in R, that is 15%. So because all these are optional after the first 3 arguments, so we can just close the parentheses and press enter and see we have got this, as 0.15, that is 15%. And if we want to get the commission amount, because this is the percentage commission that is shown, so we can just multiply this XLOOKUP value with the sales figure H2 into whatever XLOOKUP is returning, and then press enter. So we can get this as our commission. So now we can drag this for all the rows. But before that, we just need to understand this, because in our formula, if you see, we have reference for Q2 to Q6 and R2 to R6. When we drag this because of this relative reference, these values will change. So before dragging, what we need to do, we need to fix these part. That would be the F4, just by pressing F4. So we will get it fixed, and the same we need to do for the return. Because why are we doing this? Because for all the values in this main data set, we need those to be compared with or checked with the same values for Q and R. So we need to fix that part. So that's the reason we have used this F4 for this. And now with F4, these two arguments are fixed. And now we press enter. And now we can drag it for all the values. See, we got values for commission for all the sales. So this was the third example. Now we'll take up 3 more examples, and then we will discuss the error conditions also for XLOOKUP. But before that, if you find this video interesting, then like, share this video, as that will give me the motivation to come up with more such videos. I'm using XLOOKUP on the same sheet, but in a similar way, it can be used across sheets also. So I ask you to try out this and tell me in your comments below if you are able to do it or not. I'm looking forward to your comments. So let's continue with the remaining 3 examples also. So now we come to the 4th one. So this is little complicated, so we need to be careful with that. So what we are trying to do here, we want to search for the salesman where their name is starting with MAR. So we are using a wildcard. So XLOOKUP allows us to use wildcard also for our search. So, and if you see with this as the lookup value, we want all the details to be returned, like salesman, then item, then units, unit cost, and sales. Let's see how that is done. In this, we start with typing the formula in the first cell where we want the values to be returned. So let's use this formula, like let's look up here, and lookup value would be the salesman with the wildcard. Next would be the lookup array. So lookup array would be the column D. Now in the return array, as because we want value for all the fields like salesman, item, units, unit cost, and total. So in the return, what we would do, we would give whole of this as an array, D to H. Okay, and then moving to the next argument. Next argument is if not found. We'll keep it as it is. We just put comma. And now in the match mode, we want wildcard search or wildcard match. In that case, we'll select 2 here and we'll close the bracket and press enter. So you see, we have just entered the formula in the column L14, and the result had spilled over to the next columns also, because with this formula, XLOOKUP is searching for the first value with this wildcard, that is MAR asterisk, and then whatever value it gets for the first name with this satisfying this wildcard pattern, that would be marked, and then whole of the row with whatever return array we have selected will get returned as a return value, and we have to save all this value. So just by entering the formula here, we got all the rest of the values also. So this is the wildcard match mode. Now we move to another formula or another scenario where we want to see the latest sale made by William, and we want to see what item was sold in that latest sale. So how that is done? So we'll use the example 5 here. We just enter XLOOKUP. Lookup value would be the salesman, which is there in M17. Then lookup array. So again, column D would be the lookup array. And then the return array, we want to see the item name. So column E would be the return array. If not found, we'll just keep as it is. Now in this case, we want the exact match for the William. So nothing needs to be done. Exact match is the default value. So we'll press another comma here. And now we come to the last argument, which has a value of 1 if it is search from first to last, and 1 if search last to first. And in our case, as you can see, our list is already sorted on the date in the ascending order. So the latest sale, if you want, from William would be, in our data. So the value which is suitable for us is search last to first. So we'll select this one and then close the bracket and press enter. Okay, so it shows me as a compass box. So let's see, let's verify that William's latest sale. So we'll just go down and see where the William is in our data set. So the last sale done by William is here in column 46, and the item sold is compass box. So that's correct then. So now let's move to the last example. And in this example, what we are trying to do here is that let's say if we want to search for the salesman Annie, the sales that were done by Annie on, let's say, 30th of May. If you see in our data, where is Annie? This is Annie. Annie has done on 31st of May. Annie has done sale for pencil set, and then there is another sale for desk also. There are 2 sales made by Annie. So let's say on this date, we want to search for Annie's sale, and the item number which we are searching for is, in our example, let's use pencil set. So these are the multiple criteria that we want to search, and what we want to return is how many units are sold. So just by looking at it, you can see that we want to achieve here is that we want Annie, how much units Annie has sold for pencil set on 31st of May. So how this can be handled in XLOOKUP, now we are going to see that. So in the units, for the units, we just use the XLOOKUP formula, and the first is now. Because there are multiple criteria, so how multiple criteria are searched for, so we need to concatenate all these criteria. How are we going to do that? First is we want Annie, then we want to have date as 31st of May, then we want item to be pencil set. So these 3 criteria needs to be looked up for. So we have concatenate them as one string, and then in the lookup array, we need to concatenate the columns where we can get the value for these. So the first one is salesman, so that means it should be in the column D. So select column D, and then you concatenate it with second as date. So date is there in column B. Then again concatenate it with item. So item is there in column E. So just put column E, and then so this is the lookup array. Now we want a return array. What we want to return? We want to return the units. And where is the units? Units is in the column F. So this is our return array. So now if you press enter, so we get the value as 32. So let's see, is this the correct value? So for any, this is the column 9, where we have the value which we are searching for. So any did the sale on 31st of May for pencil set, and the units sold is 32. So that's the correct value answer we have got. So this is how XLOOKUP works. So guys, subscribe to the channel if you want more such content, and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification when a new video is uploaded. If you want to learn more Excel functions and formulas, then the link for the video will be there on your screen now. That is all we planned for today's session. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, goodbye.